Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 162 for Schnozzcast. Hold on to your hats, folks. You're going to thrill to the amazing booze news articles that you're about to hear. You're going to prepare for the ultimate in sports commentary, 90-second sports. Maybe up to 100 questions, gentleman's agreement, and pick of the week.
Hold on to your dicks.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I feel like this is we've kind of been away for a week. Someone on the show hijacked the entire operation, so I need to reintroduce the public and our fans to the host. So this is Bob. I'll be your host for tonight. To my left, my co-host, Mr. Nicholas Bader.
Good evening, everybody.
Across the table from me, my other co-host, Mr. Cory.
Oh, hey.
And remote from Seattle, fresh from his tour as the rapscallion who absconded with the Schnozzcast for a week, Mr. Todd Dillon.
Dilly dilly, bitches.
And once again, our guest for the evening. You know him, you love him. The man whose encyclopedic knowledge of 1950s ironing boards always amazes us, Mr. Greg Gumtow.
You could have went with zombies.
I didn't though. Notice how
he knows my little secret.
Have you ever talked to him about ironing boards from the 50s?
I try not to because I know
after the show,
things can get
it
quite
is a
carried away.
nonstop parade of ironing board knowledge.
It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to know about it?
If Cory's having a cigar and Bob's having a smoke and everyone's had a couple shots and I'm stuck with Greg in the kitchen, I'm going to learn about some fucking ironing boards.
I love how you said stuck.
Well, at that point.
And I was being regaled with ripping yarns about ironing boards.
And then I could kill another zombie with a Smithson ironing board from 74, but it's not from the 50s.
That's when they first came up with the triangle configuration of the front of the
That's
board.
right, the Smithsons.
Yeah.
They're finally learning.
Yeah. So
What year did people get fed up with wrinkles?
Oh, it was
Like, what was the
Greg?
genesis?
Is it
The beginning of time.
the beginning of time.
just a wrinkle in time?
I mean, the ironing board
Those cavemen.
was late 1800s.
Yeah. Tough with the wrinkles in their
Iron out their
pelts.
loincloths.
That's
Well,
right.
wait a minute. For nearly 2,000 years, the wrinkle was fine.
No, dude.
No way.
Come on. Caesar and those togas, there wasn't a wrinkle on those.
Those are all brand new, every single one. Every day, a new one.
Toga.
They were sunning them out, getting the wrinkles out, washing them in the Nile.
The Nile.
That
I
could
mean,
be
they had to
dangerous.
travel a long way to do it, but I'm just saying. That's how much they hated wrinkles.
Somebody failed geography.
Came all the way from Connecticut to
Or
wash
they
these
didn't.
in the Nile. And a special shout out to Todd Dillon for manning the helm last weekend while we were all partying our asses off and running the show to do our very first clip show, which you can find out on the streaming services, such as iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, or anywhere else where you can get a podcast. You can also find us out on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Schnozzcast. If you want to tell us what you think, you want to get something off your chest, or you've just got a burning question about 1950s ironing boards for Greg Gumtow, you can send us an email at schnozzcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to wake Nick up in the middle of the night because he's got nothing else to do, you can call or text us at 618-SHOCKER.
Yeah, you can text the Shocker line during podcast hours.
That is not what we were advertising. In fact, if you had listened to the video from last week, the solo Todd Dillon run clip show, you would know that he trumpeted to the world that it was 24/7, 365.
24/7.
Oh, you can text it. You can call it 24/7, 365. But it's just going to be going off in the studio, and I'm not going to be there to receive it.
Well, he also did tell everybody that he would be answering the shocker.
Has he started drinking?
Are you still sobering it up for the last few days of February?
I got
Todd?
another couple days.
I am.
Capital idea, sir. We applaud your stamina,
Must
your
be-
willpower.
Must
Word.
be that musty fermented kombucha.
Oh, man. I'm loving the kombucha.
So, thank you, Nick. That's a great lead in. What are you drinking tonight, Todd?
Actually, I got a little iced coffee action going right now with some sweet Italian cream.
Okay. Sleepy time tea. Is that what I heard?
Okay.
Guys, Todd's not moving over there. Put him right to sleep.
Corey, what are you drinking?
I'm trying out the new Bud Light Next. The new zero carb beer from Bud Light.
Is that the one that's super crisp?
Yes.
Oh, that's
super
what I thought.
crisp and refreshing.
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
If anything, it's super crisp.
And your shot?
Butter shots. Yet again.
I'm sorry, Corey. I've never had the Bud Light Next, but at this point, just from physical appearance first, judging a book by its cover, I cannot think of anything worse than drinking that and butter shots. That sounds so disgusting.
Yeah, that does sound gross. Well, buttershot sounds gross, period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what you could lead in that would be like, oh, well, that's fantastic. This is potato flavored beer with butter shot. Maybe.
So
Sour cream?
I will say it's definitely a different flavor. It's it's light.
That seems like that's
very
code
light.
for it's not as good as I thought it would be.
You know what the flavor is? Not
No,
beer.
I like it, but I could also see where you get yourself in a whole lot of trouble because this one went down like water. Like
I'm so happy that we captured on camera Greg's response to taking a sip of that.
It's going
I
down
didn't
like
take a sip. I sniffed it. It
it's
did
going
not
down
smell
like
good.
It's going down like water because it's water.
It's flavored water.
It's basically so it's 4%, supposedly super crisp, but I think if I took like a Miller Lite and just like added like, you know, a quarter of a cup of water to it, mixed it up, and be like, oh, look how crisp this is, it would get the same effect because it's not 5%, it's 4%. So it's just a watered down beer. Because at that
But there's
point,
no carbs in it.
well, that's fantastic.
What about
Yeah,
you,
but there's like 2 carbs in a Miller Lite.
You know, I hold on before we go to Greg.
Hey, kombucha boy, why don't you save your comments for March 1st?
But before we go to Greg, I do, instead of dogpiling, I do have to give Cory credit because he made a lot of changes for a very specific reason, for health reasons.
Yeah.
And I give him a lot of credit for that. He's very much a finger wagger in everyday life, and I could see him being like, I'll be fine. I'm just going to keep up my crazy ways. And he's changed a lot of things, so I give him a lot of credit for that.
Drink kombucha.
Yeah, but since when did we become the kinder, gentler podcast? Like, does that mean that we can't give him shit for anything anymore?
I know, but
I would just like to live. That's all.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah,
he
he's
didn't.
done his
How
part.
dare you?
He didn't go. He didn't go out one day and was like, "Oh, let me get the lightest beer I can get so I can shed off some pounds." Like he's doing it for a reason. So
Yeah, and we're all aware
So
of that.
drink water.
I basically am, Todd.
That's
am.
basically water.
It's super crisp water in a Bud can.
is
Oh,
Okay.
dude, you could honestly down these things, no problem. I will say that.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't mind it. I think they're quite good.
that's a glowing review. I don't mind it, says Cory Selesky.
Well,
about Bud
I
Light
know
Next.
not everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. But for my taste buds,
On the billboards.
I'm okay with it.
I got some
I
for your
don't
taste
mind
buds.
That's right. Bud Light, if you're listening.
Podcast reviewer from the Schnozzcast, Cory Selesky says, "I don't mind it. Keep up the good work,
Johnson, get a hold of them. We need to get some sponsorship.
Good job, Bud Light.
Get them some ad reads.
Little sparkly teeth in the billboard.
I like the cut of your jib. I like the way you read off that. I want you
you
to
know.
do a little something special for the Budweiser company.
I'm quite good at them.
Greg, what do you drink?
Well, I just had some soft parade
Okay.
from Nick's Keg over there.
And you've moved now from Apple
Oh God, the McGillicuddy's apple pie,
to Jim Beam.
Well,
some Jim Beam, but I'm gonna make it last all night.
His tongue touched the top of the frozen
That's
part
got
of
to
the
be
Jim
better,
Beam.
right?
It is better than.
Yeah.
Bob, the Jim Beam bottle has more in it than when I gave it to him.
That's not true. I had a little.
I was holding a little bit of that McGillicuddy's right here just to.
I
Back
asked
in
him,
the
and
bottle.
he goes, "Well, when I first went to drink it, there was a little ice top, like
is that
on
your,
the top.
Is that your Greg?
So far,
Okay.
So
there's a little ice top. So
Right.
look, it's not gone down at all. Well, everyone knows Jim Beam doesn't fill it up to the neck, all the way to the top.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, because
Okay.
you're a stranger to liquor.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
What is this stuff called?
So you and I are drinking off the keg,
We're drinking off
right?
the keg,
and
yeah.
we're doing fireball shots.
Sounds
until
so
the fireball runs out, I
caveman
guess.
Neanderthalic when Bob says we're drinking off the keg.
I know it felt like you had your
guys are
face on the bunghole.
Like cavemen used to.
Greg's
they
got
put
this chalice, and you and I are drinking off the keg. So
They have to put
They
their hand
called it-
underneath it.
If I had a chalice, I would trumpet that shit to the
I
heavens,
have one
like-
more
You
of these
did.
at home.
Right. But I didn't
you went
bring
to
it
an
tonight.
antique sale and
I
bought
did.
one.
I totally did. But I didn't bring it tonight, so we're just drinking off the keg.
Out of all the things he normally leaves here, he doesn't leave the one thing here that should be left
The
here.
$10 glass that he's like, dude, I got a great deal on this really old glass that I don't care anything about.
Well, they sold it
and
to me
he's
for
like,
$10.
He's
but
like,
valued way higher than
he's
that.
like, you know what I should do? Take this home and never bring it back.
My goal is every time I leave this house to try to remember everything I brought and bring it home with me.
and that
That's
never
the goal.
and that never happens.
It did 2 weeks ago.
But wasn't
I didn't
this
forget a single thing?
Wasn't this the idea of this glass to leave
Yeah.
it here so you could use it on the keg?
No, because I always hear chirping over my shoulder the voice of Nick Bader saying, "Don't leave your fucking shit in my house."
No, don't squirrel.
This is different.
Don't
How-
don't squirrel
how
your
is this
things
different?
away in my house is what I say.
I was saying, I
yeah.
think he's okay with the chalice. Or
I've left this here
stein
for a
that you
month.
If I get the Nick Bader approval,
Yeah.
I will absolutely leave it here.
My problem is when like I open a cupboard that would normally have like toilet paper in it and like an empty Coors Light can falls out and it's like, oh, I'm going to put this here in case I need a spitter while I'm shitting. Like, no, those are things I don't care for.
True Schnozzcast fans will know exactly which host he's referring to.
which my Evian bottle was still there, so I'm surprised.
Yeah. Hey, fellas. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Corey. You had something.
I've got two things I need to get
Yeah.
over in housekeeping before we get to the end, and one of them could be pick of the week, but I'm going to forget by then. And the other, I kept on telling this guy that we were going to give him a shout out on the podcast.
Okay.
And we have not yet. Ian Patrika.
Sounds like you're doing it justice. I'm
So
sure
you're not even going
I-
to say his
I-
name right?
he'd be happy with that. I'm
Well,
sure.
Danielle sent me his name. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Of course, that's his last name.
He'd be talking to us, but he's fighting in Ukraine right now. so.
Spell it.
First name IAN.
No, Ian. We got. What's
Okay.
the last name? What's his last name?
POK
Ian.
POKRIEFKA.
Wow, that is a mouthful.
Sounds Spanish.
I have no
Parifka?
idea.
Spell one more time.
Scotch Romanian,
POKRIEFKA.
or it could be Comanche.
Paprika.
No, not paprika. That's a spice, Todd.
No, I said paprika. There's an
Oh,
F in there, wasn't it?
Yes.
Paprika?
All right, this is fascinating content.
Sorry.
Anyway, why are we giving this unknown person a shout out?
He's the photographer that did our engagement photos and
Oh, okay.
saved the day after we had a company completely ruin all of them.
Okay.
He stepped in after the photos were basically taken from him, not edited correctly and all that. He re-edited them and then sent them back to us. He's going to be the photographer at our wedding.
Okay. So his compensation is that we're going to mention him on our Rinky Dink podcast.
Well, and all the money that Danielle and I paid.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. As long as he's
but-
getting some actual something to put in his wallet. Because
Yeah, well, of course.
this mention you're giving him is worth not even the time that it takes you to say it.
Who knows?
That's not
Who
true.
knows?
That's not
But,
true.
but yeah, his
Congratulations, Ian. Congratulations, Ian.
Ian?
so yeah, his
Ian.
his website is IANPOK.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
RIEKFA.com.
EIO. E-I-E-I-O.
All right. You know what we can do? Maybe on the break, we can develop something within Switcher, and then before we end the podcast, you can flash it.
I'll put it up there.
Yeah. Down at the bottom
Todd's
of the
like,
screen.
damn it, why'd you bring up paprika? That was my pick of the week.
I'm
this
so
week."
glad that he made his web address his completely
Crazy last
unpronounceable
name. Yeah.
That's smart. That's good business sense.
You want to follow
I can't
me?
wait to meet him.
Yeah, you
And
definitely
I'm
will
just
at the
going to
wedding.
call him
You
Ian.
just follow me at
Ian.
ianpaprika.com.
Ian.
Paprikash.
Unfortunately, he does not have an accent. That would be pretty
Ian
sweet, though.
Paprika.
Oh, he does. He was hiding it.
He does a good job. Second thing, I have to give a shout out to Green Genie on Telegraph and 6 Mile. Today was my first visit to that dispensary, and Alvin, the proprietor of Green Genie, wonderful dude, came out. We talked for a while. Callie introduced me to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went around, and Alvin was nice enough. We have the Vessel compasses that we all got.
Yeah.
I showed it to him because I wanted to see if a certain cartridge fit in there, and he was like, "Oh, Vessel." He's like, it's very high end. He's like, I like your style.
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
I was like, oh no. So he's like, hang on. He's like, have you ever seen this one?
Great
I see you're wearing shorts.
I too am wearing shorts.
Were his brothers there?
Let us touch calves, and we shall be friends forever.
So he came over with a box and opened it up, and it was a Vessel pen.
No shit.
And he's like, what do you think about that one? I'm like, wow, dude, that's really nice.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah, that shit is nice.
They
He's
make
like-
really nice pens, yeah.
well, here you go.
Are you kidding me? He gave it to you?
Gave it to me. Went behind the counter. Was like, oh yeah, this. Like, if you want to try that. I was like, wow, thank you, dude. Like that's absolutely insane. And for my first visit, I got 25% off everything.
Yeah, wait till Simon and Theodore do the books. They're going to be pissed.
Well, he owns the place, so.
Wow.
No, really, they got to wait for Dave. Once Dave hears about it, it's all over. Alvin!
It feels like this
you
is
not
the
get-
oldest.
It took me a second, but I got it.
There you go. Now you're with us.
Yeah.
This
see,
is
we're
the
talking
oldest
cartoons
drug
earlier.
trick in the book, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is. It totally is, Todd.
It's like I'm gonna
Yeah,
give it to you
first
for
one.
free till you need it.
It's the bait.
First
and
one's
switch.
free.
The bait and switch. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So, but yeah, dude, an $80 pen that he gave. Oh, and then he turned around and gave Callie one too.
You know what you're doing when you walk
I'd
in
like to
with those-
think he did that because he knows you're on the show.
You know, one's born every minute.
No, he walks in with those little short shorts. He's showing off those amazing
Sashaying
calves.
your way across the
Yeah.
floor.
Just wow, 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 wow. You know, yeah.
Sometimes you got to use your physicality to get what you want.
Yep.
Hey, Alvin.
I do declare you got a lot of green in this store.
So yeah, anyone that's in the area, Green Genie, go up there, check Alvin out.
Well, hey there, Cory.
Check Alvin out.
Well, hey there, Cory Dubois.
Oh my! Is that a vessel pen that you have,
Oh,
I got the vape.
or are you happy to see me?
I caught the vapors.
All right, Cory, we're gonna do a little booze news.
And now it's time for booze news.
Just let me go first.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. So, given our predilection on this podcast for comfortable sleep accoutrement, I ran across this website called 8sleep.com. That's the number 8, EIGHT, sleep.com. And they're having a President's Day sale today. So, have you guys ever heard about this mattress?
No.
Can't say I have.
I never had either. But apparently, it is the Cadillac of mattresses.
Nah.
And it obviously can't be pick of the week because I would have had to have bought one and then
a little
be
too
recommending it to you.
expensive.
Yeah, which I'm not going to do. Right. So this is according to them, this is the number one heating and cooling mattress, the only mattress that actually cools. They have technology that's built around a pod base, and there's like a separate reservoir for water that it circulates throughout the bed to cool each individual section of the mattress.
This was my
Sounds-
idea.
Chili mattress.
The chili mattress?
No, I said, why don't they run hot and cold water lines?
Oh, you have brought this up before.
Yeah, why don't they run hot and cold
They
water lines
fucking stole your idea.
into
yeah.
bedrooms
Right.
and just coil it through the mattress, and if you turn the cold water on, it would cool the mattress down. If you turn the hot water on, it would heat it up.
That is exact. So I'm just going to break down
my
just
idea.
real quick some of the high bullet points here
Forgot to trademark
that they stole from Nick Bader.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6-layer premium foam mattress, 12 inches deep. Just the way. Sorry, I'm gonna keep on moving.
It's usually the way I give it.
The Max Chill, that's trademarked. Layer infused with silver, copper, and graphite for maximal heat dissipation.
Maximal?
That is on the website. I might say maximum, but they chose
Maximal? Okay.
Dual zone heating and cooling. You could set each side of the bed between 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Greg, I know you're paying attention now. 55 degrees, or up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus Christ. You can boil your skin right off.
You could schedule personalized temperatures for each phase of the night. It has advanced sleep tracking, which tracks each side of the bed, including sleep stages, sleep time, and more. Daily health metrics that you can get to your phone about. It tracks your respiratory rate, your resting heart rate, and there's a gentle rise smart alarm that will silently wake up each individual with chest level vibration and gradual thermal change. Do I have your attention now?
I'm already looking it up.
Yeah, I already reviewed it. It's actually not more expensive than what you'd pay for a mattress anyway.
It's like $3,400.
Yeah, $3,800, 38.45 for the king.
I was
Now there's a
expecting like
sale.
7,000, 8,000.
I was
It's a
say
President's Day sale.
Yeah, not more expensive than what you would pay, Todd.
Well, but haven't you always been, and I don't mean to poo-poo here, but this is the, as far as my shoddy memory recalls, this is a direct quote from Nick Bader. You spend so many hours of your life in bed.
Correct.
Why would you skimp on the one place where you really need to be comfortable and get you charged for the rest of the day?
Yeah, 1/3 of your life is spent in bed. You should have a great bed.
Yes.
What he said.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought I'd throw it out there, not necessarily as like a cautionary tale to anyone, we're not sponsored by them, certainly, although 8 Sleep People, if you're listening, we'd love to do it. We're all about being comfortable while we're sleeping here in this podcast. We've reviewed a whole bunch of shit, mattresses, pillows, you name it. I thought I would bring it up just so that the sleep aficionados would know this is now the big dog on the block.
I was going to say, we like our sleep.
We do. Yeah.
Very true.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
All right, Nick.
All right. So this, everybody knows what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. And
Yeah, we should probably say today's February 26th, 2022.
February 26th. So it's a horrible thing. Country that just wants to do their own thing. And you got Russia who, basically wants to recreate the USSR and needlessly killing people. And that sucks. But there's a lot of good stories that are coming out of the Ukraine, people that just want to defend their homeland and be their own individuals. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard. If anyone would be in this room that would have heard this, it would have been Greg and maybe Todd. The Ghost of Kiev? Of course you did.
I don't know if it's actually a true story. I think it's more...
Oh, that story you're about to tell?
Yep.
Utter
Yeah.
bullshit.
So
No, I'm not saying it's utterable. I actually just read a couple things about it today.
All right, well, I had not heard anything about it.
Okay, so the Ghost of Kiev, as it turns out, the Ghost of Kiev is actually real. There are now various official sources that have confirmed that his existence, and some even shared a picture of him. So former President Petro Poroshenko, apparently the guy that did Cory's photography, decided to upload a picture of this heroic pilot. So basically, the Ghost of Kiev is a ace Top Gun fighter pilot for the Ukrainian Air Force that apparently Russia can't get their hands on. This guy is like a ghost. I mean, that's why they call him that. And shut up, Cory.
Thank you for the
So this president decided to upload a picture. Well, Cory, I mean, you were the one that was having a couple minutes to get to the punchline on the last one, so I'm just trying to fill in the blanks for you. Decided to upload this picture, heroic pilot who has downed 6 or 7 confirmed Russian aircrafts. On February 24th, this confirms that the Ghost of Kiev is not only real, but he remains active in the air. In one of the toughest nights for the capital of Ukraine, this pilot is roaming the skies looking for more victims of Russia to add to his list of kills. When the story of the ghost began spreading like wildfire, many didn't even believe it to be real. They actually have a video here of him as well. In time when we were all begging for heroes, this ghost is a clear reminder that there is still hope in the world filled with war. The former president uploaded an image of the pilot who is in charge of the MiG-29 fighter jet with his entire gear on. There is no way to confirm his face or real identity. Obviously, they're covering that up for security reasons. But this confirmation from the president turns a wild urban legend into reality. This is exactly what the people from Ukraine need at this moment. That's not all. This Ghost of Kiev is already making more headlines in the Battle of Kiev that is taking place right now in the capital of Ukraine. Eventually, the official media outlets confirm the existence of this ace pilot. So basically, it's a much longer article. I'm not going to go in and bore everyone, but this guy, they can't get their hands on him, and he's just knocking fighter jets from Russia out of the sky, and I think that's fucking awesome.
It is pretty impressive that he's that good.
It's pretty impressive that you have such a force like Russia, who is, and I just looked this up the other day, so I might be misspeaking, but the United States has the largest military and strongest based on budget and everything.
Oh, yeah. We spend way more than everybody else.
It's like $419 billion or something like that.
Something crazy.
And Russia's either second or third.
Yep.
And
okay, the Chinese army. I was like, who would even come close to that? But that
China.
makes sense.
Australia is actually relatively close too.
But it's just crazy to me that I mean, this guy's a real life Top Gun, you know, and no one can get their hands on him. So I think that's pretty fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Corey, you got one?
I do. So I was watching before we do. Yeah, let's do the shot first.
Hey, so if you're new to the podcast, we have a slight tradition that we do roughly several times every episode. So we're going to do a shot right now. If you don't have anything to drink yet, pause us, we'll grab something, come back and join us. Here's to you, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Shazam.
Todd, can't wait for you to join us, buddy.
Next week.
That's right.
Todd, did you also hear about the island off Ukraine that that was like a stronghold that the 13 soldiers were holding out?
No.
Yeah, they were holding out. Greg, so do you know more about this?
So I guess it was just a small island when the Russians came up to and was like, you guys need to surrender now. Mm-hmm. And I believe the response was, go fuck yourselves.
Yep. So with social media and everything right now, it's giving this weird, horrible sometimes picture of actual war going on right now, which is not necessarily a positive thing. But so these Ukrainian soldiers were on this island, this stronghold. I don't know if there was some sort of larger gun on this island or something, but they basically, the Russians came up with a battleship and they communicated via radio and they said, surrender now or we're going to fire upon the island. And there were 13 Ukrainian soldiers on this island, like holding down the whole thing. And they live streamed on Facebook. And
as one does in wartime.
You know, now.
I mean, why not? Oh, yeah, now.
And they communicated back in Russian, go fuck yourself. And Russia let loose and they all died. But they're being honored as heroes in the country now. So
there's a few of the websites, a few of the Facebook groups that I follow, they're making shirts that have a picture of the island with it on there. They say anything that we get after this is going, like all the proceeds are going to something over that way.
There was also a Ukrainian woman that walked up to a Russian soldier and handed him a handful of
sunflower seeds.
Seeds. And he looked very perplexed. And she said, well, since you're on Ukrainian soil, she's like, these will grow into beautiful flowers once your carcass breaks down after you die. So I'm like, these Ukrainians are kind of badasses, man. This is crazy.
Really just asking for it.
They're completely outnumbered. And
she's going to be doing 2 shows a night at the laugh tracks in Ukraine.
Yeah, really.
All right, Corey.
All right. So I know, let me preface this with, I know this is a stretch for booze news, but I happened to be watching the movie the other day, and I could not stop laughing at this moment in the movie that we're going to check out.
Is this a 1970s Lay's potato chip commercial?
Close.
Says the man who's seen 0 films.
That's what I'm saying. So this is my only knowledge.
So I do want to ask you guys before I play this clip.
Yeah.
Just in your mind, there's a certain point. This is National Lampoon's Family Vacation.
Yeah.
So
the first one, the original.
The original.
Okay.
Chevy
He's going to get
Chase.
us kicked off of YouTube, by the way.
No,
right?
there's no sound.
Okay.
Chevy Chase starts doing something, and I immediately thought of someone that is on the podcast with us. So you guys tell me if you can figure out who you think it is.
This is an audio podcast.
Greg.
Go on a limb and say.
Come on, Todd.
Yeah.
So this is the after they stop for their picnic, and Chevy notices the girl in the Ferrari, so he stands up and goes over to kind of say hello from a distance.
Oh, the way he grabbed that branch, that looks like Greg.
Hey, yeah.
Oh no, there's something very obvious that's about to happen. So a little flirtation starts happening,
Yeah.
and the little dancing starts happening. But Nick, in this next scene where you see Chevy, tell me who you think of.
Okay.
Right about here. Have you seen that dance before?
Bob.
Is that a Bob dance?
That is legitimately.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry, Greg.
It's not quite nail on the head, but he's done things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the bologna sandwich. But
No, you were minus the bologna sandwich,
yeah,
but
so it can't be the same. So nice try, Cory.
sorry, buddy, that's pretty spot on.
I figured there'd be some high kicks going on, but
That's fantastic. Good booze news article.
Dude, I saw it and I literally could not stop laughing for about 10 minutes. I mean, that is exactly what Bob would do.
I'm totally confused now about what booze news is, but
We're expanding the horizon and the definition of what booze news can be.
Yeah, I went a little out of context this week. Sorry.
But who knows what's going to happen next week? Tune in next week to see just how crazy booze news gets. And in the meantime, we're going to go on a 90 Second Sports.
And we see him heading in that direction. The 20. He's going for 40. And it's 90 Second Sports.
All right, 90 Second Sports brought to you by Mr. Todd Dillon of Seattle, Washington. Let's just assume it's Seattle proper. While we don't list his exact location for the federales, we're gonna
right next to the Funko plant.
Stop that! You bite your dirty tongue.
Hundreds of acres away from the Funko plant.
I have a feeling that
The Todd Dillon Foundation compound is so much bigger.
I have a feeling that the hourglass that I purchased specifically for this particular moment is now going to be relegated to obscurity because of some sort of crazy switcher technology that Cory's
We went
discovered.
digital, buddy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Go fuck yourself.
I like the timer. I do.
This is exactly why I'm like, I don't like updates or upgrades to new versions of shit when it comes to switcher. So Todd, you're going to tell me whether you'd prefer to go analog or digital because he's about to do the on-screen shit with this.
Okay.
No, that was a question.
Yeah, You can opt out of it and say I want the hourglass, bitch.
So, Todd, here we go.
I guess
Okay.
not. I guess you're fucked.
It looks like it.
Well, Cory, now
Time's
it's upon
counting.
you to. Okay.
He doesn't know.
Oh, there it is. 90 seconds started. Okay. So I bitched about this the last time we did 90 Second Sports. I think there are way too many sports in the Winter Olympics. And every 4 years when the Winter Olympics show up, I say I'm not going to watch it. Starting in the skiing and all the different stuff. But this year, really, it dragged on because there were so many versions of the same damn sport. But then it got that, and when I thought things couldn't get any worse with like rhythmic dance, where they told me there was going to be hip hop and all this dancing with no people of color shaking their asses on the ice. Anyway, the thing that has now come to the top of the list as to why there's too many sports and why there's craziness. So first, who wants to sign up to watch the men's 50-kilometer cross-country ski race? 50 kilometers of cross-country skiing? Come on. And then, to make matters worse, these people skied it in the coldest conditions in the last 15 times the Olympics have been run. And the dude, frickin' Remy Lindholm from Finland, froze his dick. He froze his dick. And
Sorry, buddy, that's 90 Second Sports.
Sorry about that, buddy.
This is the second time he froze his dick. He must have a thin dick.
Hold on. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this because, number one, I feel like you're robbing Nick Bader of one of his deep pleasures during the week.
And cutting me off.
Cutting Todd off before the end of the 90 seconds. But also, if Todd can see that, I'm not sure if he was ever looking at the hourglass before, but I feel like it was a surprise to him that it was the end of the 90 seconds.
Well, and I get that aspect, but for the view, as far as viewers wise, that's what I was thinking of, for them to be able to see the countdown. So,
But they knew that it was the end because Nick would ceremoniously just announce that it was done. That was it.
I get it, but visual aspect.
I will
just
say
put it
that,
out there.
I will say that I'm okay with either way.
Okay.
However it happens, I'm fine with it.
So you're gonna let? I feel like, to be fair, you should let Todd make that call.
To be fair,
To be
Sons of bitches.
I mean, Todd can make that call, but to be fair,
to be fair.
to be fair, it is Todd's segment.
It is your segment, buddy.
yeah. So I feel like it's a bit of a crutch if I see the digital version of it because I was actually trying to time my landing and I still screwed it up. So it turns out I'm not that talented at this part anyway. But it was very, very hard. It was much harder to try and thread the needle. I think I'll catch up to this digital version.
You want to think about it and reflect. Maybe look inward a little bit, and then maybe we'll come back next weekend.
Maybe reflect.
Yeah.
As
I'll
if
reflect
you were
on it.
in the year 3000.
I'll reflect on it.
Exactly.
All right. So very lackluster 90-second sports.
Whoa.
Dude froze his dick off
Guy
for the
froze his
second
dick.
time.
Froze his dick off.
But we don't
For
know.
the second
It was
time.
froze and you weren't listening.
We don't-
But the rest of us
Hold on.
all heard froze his dick off.
Hold on, Bob. Hold on. We don't know about all that because it ended right as his dick got frozen off. That's when it fucking ended.
But there's
Yeah,
nothing
and you're
that
supposed to give me an
follows
extra
that.
30 seconds to
What's the following
expound.
of that? The thawing of the dick and the attempted reattachment? Like, the dick is frozen off.
I will say, in Todd's defense, Cory hit the button preemptively about 4 seconds before Todd knew.
Jesus.
Before
See,
Todd
Cory, you
knew.
son of a
Here we
bitch.
go. This is, you're going to jump in here and try to take over his. You're going
not
be
trying to jump
like a
into anything.
rival,
Stealing
a rival
his
Exactly.
Dumbo trying to steal.
Son of a
steal
bitch.
Hold the
his-
brother
his
back.
Turf, in this turf war.
The
Did
man.
you think that he wouldn't respond?
Exactly.
Always-
In Black History Month. Cory, you bitch.
Trying to hold a brother down.
We got 2 more days left.
Just
Yeah.
so you know, you're not black, Nick.
I'm not the brother.
I'm trying to hold you down.
You're trying to hold Todd down.
No, I'm not trying to hold Todd down.
You got me back.
Trying to silence his voice.
Exactly. I had 4 more seconds.
The man. Always trying.
And I just assume in that 4 seconds, the dick somehow thawed and got reattached. So.
Todd, you know, it's
No, I guess that was when he had the worst pain. Was actually when it thawed out. That's when he knew
It
that
didn't
during the
fall off,
race
but
he
it
had
did
frozen his
thaw off.
See
dick.
him
He
trying to
said-
sneak in more fucking 90-second sports now? This is the kind of crazy shit that happens when Cory takes over the operation.
Todd,
It's Thunderdome.
this is what happens on a predominantly white podcast.
Exactly.
It's 4 seconds today, Todd. What's it going to be in a month from now? Pretty soon you're going to have 4 seconds to speak about your sports. And dick
Exactly.
freezing.
Yeah.
Dick's froze.
Frozen dicks. All right. A couple of weeks ago, I listed as my pick of the week was the Hammer Films collection. So if you've successfully forgotten what I said a couple of weeks ago, Hammer is a British. It's a British film production company that went from like the 30s up until the late 70s.
Oh, it's getting better.
And so they put out a box set. When I was a kid, they would have the Ghoul would have this show on WXON Channel 20, and he would play all these crazy British horror films. Granted, they were from the 50s and the 60s and 70s, so they were tame compared to today. It was no Saw or it was no like Paranormal Activity, but they were British films. So they starred a lot of the British film stars of the day, like Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and they had a stable of actors and actresses who would do movies for them. So I bought this box. Yeah, Todd, go ahead.
I was going to say, so lots of tea and bad teeth?
Yes.
I
yes,
do say
100%.
I do say.
100%.
Can I just?
Yeah.
Can I ask a
Sure.
question? What segment are we in right now?
We are in between segments.
Okay. So I heard pick of the week.
No.
He said
he
was just referring
I
back
referenced
to
the
it.
pick of the week
Okay.
from 2 weeks ago.
All right.
This is a
little
story about the follow-on to that.
It's a little confusing.
So that was the pick of the week, and in that box that there are 20 films. Now they were like anywhere from like an hour to like an hour and a half, hour 45 each.
Mm-hmm.
So by this weekend, I had made it through 19 of the 20.
So this is a gentleman's agreement.
No, this is my pick of the week.
This is your pick of the week.
This was my pick of the week.
This is booze news.
Yeah. I had already watched.
Bob's literally rolling booze news, pick of the week, and gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what this is.
Stay with me, fellas.
This is called Bob's news segment.
Stay with me, fellas.
This is called What Bob Wants to Watch.
This is a story that happens to have something to do with something that was my pick of the week 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so this is okay.
So I had
Pick of the week revisited.
I had not finished my pick of the week when I recommended. I had watched maybe 13 of the 20 films, and I thought that was probably enough to recommend it as a pick of the week. So,
I think his dick's going to freeze in this story.
So I watched 19 of the 20 films, and so
Outside?
No. All right, get off the frozen dicks, man. We're moving on to.
Do we have to prepare something for this segment?
No. I'm going to handle all of it if you'd shut the fuck up and let me do that. I will handle all of it. You don't have to do a thing. I got it. You can keep talking, but that's you handling it. So, okay, so I've watched. So I'm on to the last film. This is like 2 nights ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So I put in the last disc, and it's like, oh, we got some special features. It's 30 minutes. All right, I'll watch that and get out of the way. So I'm down to the last movie. I've watched all the everything. So I'm ready to finish this shit up. And Greg, you know what I'm talking about. Made it to the end of a box set that had 20 films in it. And here's the 20th film.
Impressive.
And the film is called The Creatures That the World Forgot. And it is the 3rd caveman movie that Hammer Films has done. They did 1 Million Years BC with Raquel Welch, which I know you know, the most famous caveman movie that was ever made. And then they did some other fucking bullshit caveman movie, and this is now the 3rd. So someone has determined at Hammer Films, like,
Moranis?
we've got more to say about cavemen, and so let's do a 3rd one. So I'm watching this movie, and it starts off, and I'm like, okay, cavemen. I know nothing about it. But clearly within the first, 10 minutes, it becomes clear, there's no dialogue. It's all cavemen. They're all like, that is all you get from anything. That's the dialogue for the whole movie is all of them. Like, there's not a
Lori was in the room like, what are you watching? There's nothing but a bunch of grunting going on.
I don't know that she would have taken this journey with me.
If
but
I had to sum up this segment, that would be the noise that so far. Yeah. I love you,
Jack's
buddy.
like, I'm not coming downstairs.
Bob always leads on a strong foot when he surprises us with a segment.
yeah.
Exactly. I can have this done. I'll have recorded this tonight.
Now,
if you were a regular co-host, you'd be excited right now because you're like, oh, I don't have to do anything.
Hold on.
Bob's going to take the reins. He's
Let's
going somewhere.
I mean, I want to know where you're going.
Let's see where he's
I want to know where you're going with this.
Not these fucking assholes.
For a moment,
They're like,
hold on.
oh, this fucking guy.
For
with
one
his
moment,
surprise segments.
let's bring in a professor friend that I have about angels and Christians.
This is not that. I got this.
That didn't work out well. Let's see if this goes any better.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah,
Let's
no
see.
pressure. No pressure.
I want to know where it's going.
So
Oh, it's going somewhere strong.
So-
I know it is.
I'm like, fuck you. The last film out of 20, I got to watch a fucking silent film about cavemen. But I'm like, I got to do it. I really want to stop this. But I'm like, okay, I'll just write it out. So
I share your sentiment.
it's your classic Cain and Abel story about these 2 warring tribes with the cavemen, and one of them has got literally the blonde hair, like he's the good kid, and the other son is the bad son with the dark hair. No one's saying a word. There's a lot of nodding, a lot of pointing, but no one's saying a word. But as I'm watching it, I noticed that there's a little TNA going on in this movie. There's some, cave women wearing the puka shells, but they've got no caveman bras that they're wearing.
Cavewoman bras.
Cavewoman bras.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Corey. I feel. Have you
So there's a wrinkle epidemic.
Have you seen it?
No.
I feel like you're intimately familiar with it. So the more I watch, the more I'm like, oh, they are really like going for it. And I don't know how this is like. There's no rating on the box.
Is it in color?
It is in color.
I feel like this was on like the Canadian channel, CBC.
Yeah.
Because
They did a lot of British film.
Yeah,
on CBC.
Think I've run across that film,
think
but
so?
like for like 10 minutes of it, I'm like, there's nobody said a word.
Right.
It's been nothing but
See?
But that's
what
it.
I'm talking about. Yes. So I'm like, all right, I will give this a chance. I'm like, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. And the rest of it was your standard caveman film. They're trying to figure out how to get food, and there's warring amongst the tribes. A lot of stunts that are, Cory, I think we talked about this on Monday, a lot of stunts that were kind of shitty where obviously they've all got a lot of spears. They're trying to spear each other, but the camera's right behind you. So when you like you probably don't have a spear in your hand. And then the other shot, then they pan to a shot where they're like, oh, and then over they go with body lockout with a little bit of blood. So I get to about there's 15 minutes left in the movie, and I'm like, okay, I can make it to the end. And all of a sudden, there's this tribe that comes out of the woods, out of nowhere.
A third tribe?
The third tribe, and they're going to ambush everybody. And they're painted in this white mud, and they're wearing these big styrofoam helmets.
Makes sense.
And there's no explanation for why they're wearing helmets.
Not an Earth-friendly movie.
Or what they're... Right, I'm like...
So cavemen had styrofoam helmets.
Apparently. And I'm like, maybe they're aliens. But there's no explanation. And so after the battle, they just disappear to the woods, and that's that. And after that, I turned it off and I gave up.
Didn't even see. Maybe they would have explained the whole thing in the last 10 minutes.
Why did you tell us this,
care,
Bob?
I don't even care to...
I have a clarifying question.
Tell us what you just told us.
Because I thought this was a noteworthy thing. Greg is here. Greg's a big movie buff.
Okay.
And I appear like it seems like Greg has seen this on CBC back in the day.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
question.
a great point.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What segment was this?
Todd, we forgot the artwork and the music.
Bob's
for it.
rants.
Yeah. Midnight burbling. That's the segment.
This is going to be one of those segments that I talk to him like later on in the week, and he's going to be like, man, I just had to do the audio for last week.
But someone will be like, oh, I fucking saw that film.
I fucking
this
did.
is going to make the best of the best clips.
It will not. It will not.
If it did, don't you think I've done my job? Don't you think this
You
is
are
gonna
providing us with so much content, Bob.
All right, and with that ringing endorsement, let's move into a little lightning round. Okay, today is the 26th. So this is a question. This is a 100-question type of round, but this is generally a short answer question. It never works out that way, so let's just kind of leave it.
I'm only super short.
Well, we'll see. All right, so gentlemen, point to a scar you got when you were a child and tell the story of how you got it.
I shattered my forearm playing hockey and had a plate put in.
That's a good story. I feel like you've told that on the podcast before.
Oh man, if I did, it was a long time
It was
ago.
probably a long time ago, but I
Yeah.
feel like you have.
Does it have to be when you're a kid? Can it be like any time?
No, when you were a child.
I got a
You never got a scar when you were a child?
I mean, you can't even see it now. It was a terrible story. The one on my arm is way better.
I got a scar right on the top of my left hand here, and it was because my mom was like, she owned like all these different craft shops and crap like that, so she had hot glue guns everywhere, and I was using one, and it dripped hot glue onto my hand, and I wiped it off, and with it came my skin right off. So
Pretty gross.
yeah,
That is gross.
Yep.
I've got a similar one right here, which is I've got actually two of them. One of them is from a nail that was underneath my crib that once I started crawling and got out of the crib, I crawled underneath there and raked my hand across it somehow. And then the other one was from a Lego from my sister.
That was also back in the 20s when cribs weren't made the way that they're made nowadays. So,
Yeah, it was made of bamboo, and one of the shoots carved up my hand.
Also had one under my eye from when I was 4.5 or so, and my brother jumped. I was in my dad's arms, and he jumped into my dad's arms, and the ball of his heel hit my face and split right under my eye open, and I went underwater. And literally the only thing that saved me was, and I can still remember to this day, was grabbing out of my dad's swim trunks and pulling myself back up in like 4 feet of water. And so, that was it.
I think you've told that story in the
I
podcast.
have. Yeah, that's why I made it quick.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Greg, do you want to?
I have
Whereabouts?
I got like a 3 or 4 inch scar on my left.
Testicle?
No. no, my left knee.
Okay.
Playing baseball, 8th grade. Slid into 3rd. Didn't have the greatest fields. Hit a stick. Like, ripped open the front part of my leg.
Mm-hmm.
Ball was overthrown. I ran home. Slid into home.
With the wound?
Yes.
On your,
Yeah.
Nice.
Got to the dugout the next inning. I went down, sat down for a second, grabbed my glove. 2 people got out right away, so I went back in the field. Made a diving stop at 3rd, caught a ball, landed on my knee.
Jesus Christ. You
Went
played
back
the whole
into
game with this?
Went back in the dugout, and guys were hitting around. I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm looking at my leg, and we had the blue pants, but there was just this dark blue.
Of course, the blue pants. Yeah.
Yeah, they were dark blue. So it just this whole mess of blood coming down my leg. My coach is like, "Can you catch next inning?" I'm like, "Coach, I don't think I can play anymore." Just blood just profusely dripping out of my leg. I ended up just using some butterfly bandages to kind of hold it all together instead of going to get stitches.
Nice.
It worked. I pulled a couple rocks out of my leg. It was fun.
Tough son of a bitch, Greg Gumtow.
Sometimes.
Todd, anything to add here?
Yeah, mine's gonna be quick. I have a scar right where my soul patch is from a basketball game in high school where a guy from Flynn Academy tried to dunk from the free throw line, and I took the charge.
Ripped his soul patch clean off.
Todd's like, not on
No,
my watch,
actually,
son.
my bottom teeth my bottom teeth actually punctured my lips, so they were outside of my mouth.
That happens. Yeah, that happens a lot. It does. Yeah, it comes right through.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't take any more charges, but that guy didn't try and dunk over me.
And I never played basketball again.
No. We fixed the situation.
All right. Next question. When you do something, do you follow the directions or do you freestyle it?
Depends what it is.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple scenarios. I just wanted to hear like a general answer first.
Okay.
You'd rather hear the scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Building Legos.
First time or second time?
First time.
First time directions.
It would
Anyone have a different answer?
It would depend what it is.
Yeah, if it's like
No, it's
something
building
big.
Legos for the first time.
If
for
it's
the first time,
Yeah.
then
First
yeah.
time
first time I
Legos.
ever
Then
got a set, or
I'm
like
just playing with them. Yeah, I'm not following
I
directions.
like to
building-
build things, then destroy them, and then do whatever with them.
If it's building anything, it's the instructions. It's got to be.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're pretty evenly divided. I would side with Cory and Todd about this. Taking the instructions. Greg,
I'll
you're
use the
gonna-
instructions for the first time. It just depends on how big I mean, like that's just a general statement. Like, oh, here's this little thing. I'm just gonna look. I'm like, okay, I'll build that.
You're
Find a
saying you're
picture.
saying the first time, like in my only.
Like you get a set. You never had Legos.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
You had to
is
play
like,
toys with other people.
like sometimes when
Yes.
I play toys, it would be with other people. But like the excuse me, the Central Perk Lego set upstairs, I would never try and build that on my own. I would follow the directions.
Okay.
Yes.
But if
All
I
right.
was given Legos when I was a kid, I would just build what I wanted
That's
to
what
build.
I'm saying. Like, yeah, if I got a set that was actually meant to make something,
Yeah, correct.
then yes,
Yeah.
you make that once and actually build what it's supposed to be.
But he
Right.
said the first time.
that's what I'm
So,
saying. The first time you open the
He
box and take the
clarified.
pieces
That's
out,
good. It's a good clarifying question.
Yeah.
and then after once you destroy that, then yeah, it's just build whatever.
Okay. Cooking. I would say I always follow the recipe. Always.
As long as it's
Nope,
like
I'm
the
the
first
opposite.
time. If it's the first time I'm making something, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But once it's like, okay, I've done this 14 times, I'm just gonna go my own way with it.
Yeah. Todd,
Nope, I'm the opposite. 100%.
Even the first time.
100% opposite. I when it comes to cooking, my sister and I were just talking about this. I look at a recipe, and even if I like it, like what the recipe says, I will customize it to what I want in the end. Simple. A recent example, I found an awesome Instagram video of cheeseburger casserole, and I ended up making cheeseburger portobello bacon cheeseburger casserole. So yeah, no matter what, I'm always going to change it up. But I don't use And again, also, I'm very, very particular about how I cook. So even if a recipe calls for salt, I have probably 60 or 70 different types of salt. So depending upon what it is, I will change the same thing with peppers and different spices. So cooking 100%, no matter, I don't think that I've cooked anything to the letter of a recipe in the last 30 years.
Yes.
I feel like you guys are probably simpatico on this. You know your way around a kitchen.
I will say this, and I've learned a lot in the last couple of years that has helped build on my small culinary knowledge that I had before. But I'll sum it up with this statement. And there's a difference between a cook and a chef, and that's knowing how to season your food and knowing when to season your food. And if you don't season food properly in layers, then you're going to taste recipes and not actual food from a chef. And if you train your palate, excuse me, you have to train your palate to know what food is missing. And once you get to that point, you can realize that it all breaks down to sweetness, acid, salt, and like a base. And once you have all those things, that's what makes good food. So to follow a recipe, no, it's a good guideline if you've never made something before, but you have to intervene. You have to go your own way.
Agree.
Cory?
Yeah.
I do not know my way around a kitchen, but I will still shoot from the hip every time.
Yeah?
Oh, God, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Made some stir fry the other day that I wasn't too sure how it was going to turn out. From what I was told and from what I tasted, it was all right.
From what I was told.
Danielle liked it.
That's
so
a great, sure.
It's really all that matters. As long as you like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, depending on who you're cooking for. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah,
that.
definitely shooting from the hip.
All right, one more. How about furniture setup?
Oh, right. Following the directions to a T.
Now, hold on. So,
Yeah.
not a lot of people. I think Don was one of them, my father-in-law, who didn't like to follow the directions.
Dude,
furniture setup.
I'm
he
sorry.
obviously never
I
went
feel
to
like your
IKEA.
dad
I'm
might
s-
have also been cooking.
I'm
that
sorry,
same
my
cloth.
dad and my uncle were idiots for that shit. That's the dumbest thing you could have done. I've wasted so much time with the directions.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how much time was wasted without directions. So sorry, I obviously love my dad and uncle. They taught me a lot over the years, but this was not one of them. When it comes to furniture, definitely going with instructions.
Yeah. Anybody feel differently than that?
No, not at all.
No, I want to take it one step further.
Yeah.
One step further, Bob. I will 100% go by the instructions, but I will actually take all the parts and lay them out and count them, because there's nothing more maddening than following the instructions of something complex, getting to the very end, and then realizing that that you only got one of the bolts that you needed for this last part. So literally, I am 100% the instructions, but also I inventory every part, even the. And I make sure that actually sock away if they give extra bolts or nuts or screws. I 100% follow the instructions.
So that's a good follow-up question. Do you save extra parts?
Every one of them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that if you actually found that you were missing a bolt from a piece of furniture that you bought, you go back and look at your stash, your hoard.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll go one step further. I'll actually use the directions and look up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's see, because you actually find a lot of easy ways to do stuff, little shortcuts, make things a little easier to put together.
I save the stuff just because it's maddening in other projects when you need something and you don't have it. And it's so remedial to think of something so stupid, but to save you a trip from going to the hardware store and you're like, oh, I got one of those.
Right.
You
Yep.
know?
All right. So two-part question here. Would you eat soup that got you drunk? Second part, would you eat a salad that got you drunk?
Soup, yes. Salad, no.
Explain.
Salad just sucks. I don't care if it got me drunk or not.
So salad
like
sucks, but
salads.
the fact that it could get you drunk would not redeem
Would
it.
not
in
redeem
your
me on
eyes.
salad. No.
Okay.
Not happening.
Todd?
I love soups and salads.
So if they got you drunk, that'd just be ice.
Just be exactly a spiked cherry tomato on top.
Okay.
Maybe on vacation would be good. I don't like.
Yeah, not all the time.
I mean, I eat a salad every day for lunch. I don't want to.
Yeah. I wouldn't have to.
Trying to have my salad.
Well, in this example, I'm assuming that you would know it's this particular soup that gets you drunk.
Exactly. It's a
not
drunken
every
boozy
soup.
salad.
I mean, yeah, for 100%. Why not?
I always come back so wacky after lunch. I don't get it, guys.
Guys, I just can't finish working. I had a salad and soup
Every
combo.
day. Every day. I eat the same thing and it never changes.
But the breadsticks, they have new meaning now.
How?
They soak up the booze.
Oh, okay.
No.
Makes like finish his segment. All right, one more.
No, dude, a soup is going to be warm, and you want to cook the alcohol out, and if you're going to heat it up, you're going to lose it. So
We have no time for your logic in this.
Point of order. Point of order.
In order for a soup to get you drunk, that would mean you're just pouring vodka into cold soup, or some kind of liquor. So no, that sounds disgusting. In a salad that would get you drunk, you would have to toss it with alcohol, and they both sound absolutely disgusting.
Point of order for both.
I think this is more. It's tastes.
Point of order for both.
All right, let me see it. Go ahead, Todd.
There are wines that are served warm that still have alcohol that are fabulous.
That are warm.
You could-
That's correct. Soup
Yes.
should not be served warm. It should be served hot.
I like warm soup.
I like warm
eat it
soup.
faster.
That's disgusting.
Exactly. I can't eat hot. If it's too hot, I can't eat it.
I love gazpacho.
Yeah, that's gross.
Todd, what have you cooked that called for alcohol that you don't cook the alcohol out?
I would say the only nothing, but I'm saying I might be able to think up something of a soup with a wine in it that I didn't cook all the alcohol out. And if you drank it and you got drunk, you might have to eat a large bowl of it. But
For a soup to have enough wine to get you drunk, it would be disgusting.
We're not talking about taste here, though.
I'm talking about taste.
I think I might give it a go. Same thing with a salad dressing. A salad dressing with a nice boozy sauce might be a good. I'm gonna see if I can do this now.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, I got
Excellent.
I got some ice cream in my freezer that'll get you drunk.
Tell me how delicious that soup and salad is, Todd.
All right. Now I want to hear Nick's answer to this next question. You can fold a piece of pizza while eating it. True or false?
True.
True.
You can fold it?
Yeah.
Of course you can fold it.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Absolutely true.
I feel like all right. Is it because we all hail from Michigan? Is that why you think this is?
No, because I think the folding started with like New York style, the large pizza slices that
So
are
you
very
think that-
thin that you can fold very easily.
Western United States folks, West Coast folks would not be down with folding the pizza.
No, I don't think so, because as you get closer to the West Coast, first of all, I mean, the West Coast isn't really known for pizza, but you get to Chicago and it's not very foldable.
California Pizza Kitchen?
Even here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Even here, you have to think about the origins of pizza. And Domino's was the first pizza to pop up in the Midwest, and Domino's wasn't. Yeah, Domino's is terrible. I agree, but that wasn't necessarily a foldable pizza. That was thick dough.
There's styles. New York style is larger, thin pizza that is foldable. Detroit style is like a deep dish pizza with cup pepperoni. Chicago style is where you got
It's
the
like a
sauce
pie
on the top. Yeah, it's like a pie crust almost. So yeah,
You can't fold a Chicago style pizza.
no. But yeah, you can fold pizza. Like a round. Yeah, of course.
Climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Ooh, climb a mountain, I'd say.
Todd?
Yeah, well, I think from the fear factor, I would say climb a mountain takes all the fear out. But I wouldn't like walking to the top of a. Should I have a mountain in my yard that I don't want to go up? So
We
jump
know,
from a
Todd.
plane.
You could take the helicopter to the top. I'm not sure why you even would bother climbing up.
Climb implies that I'm walking, so that's why I'm going to choose jumping out of a
That you're
plane.
climbing, not walking. I didn't say walk up a mountain. Cory?
That's a tough one. I would master both.
Wow.
I mean, we already discussed me climbing Mount Everest in flip flops and shorts. So
Clearly,
I'd say jump from a plane.
They would put a marker up where you died.
Yeah, it'd be at the very top.
You're saying
No.
conceptually you've already climbed that mountain in your shorts and flip flops.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So you're gonna opt for jumping from the plane.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the plane.
Corey has said,
Switch it up a little bit.
Corey has said in the past several times that he's okay with even though he hates heights. He's okay with jumping out of a plane because he has a parachute, and
That may or may not open.
Yeah.
in his mind will always open, and with a mountain he could fall and die. So
Depending on the
cold.
slope of it.
I don't like the cold.
why is a mountain cold?
Most mountains are once you get
If it's a mountain, it has to go to
altitude. If you get a
altitude.
certain altitude, yeah.
From the bottom, maybe not so much. Once at the very top.
Geography and science.
Once you hit that halfway point,
That's,
it's usually pretty
thank you,
cold.
Todd. That's mountain science.
I'm sorry. Have you been to the Porcupine Mountains in Michigan? They're not.
There are no mountains in
hills.
Michigan.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Those are not mountains.
They're mountains,
They're not.
dude. It is called the Porcupine Mountains.
All right, we're going to take a break here in just a minute where you guys can look this up and then you can fight it out. Thunderdome style, 2-man enter, 1-man leave about the mountains in Michigan. Okay, so one last question. If you're really hungry, would you eat a bug? And the asterisk is you can't pick the type of bug.
Of course.
How hungry am I?
Really,
on the verge
think
of dying?
I think I said really hungry.
I'd eat the bug.
Dude, you go to survival instincts. Of course you would.
Probably beat the bug, yeah.
Of course you
Yeah.
It feels like with half the shit that we eat today, I probably have eaten a bug in the last 2 days. So yeah, I'm in.
I mean, per the FDA,
Todd,
they said.
Todd, how much seasoning are you putting on stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah, if
I
you
mean,
have
yeah, do I
70
have,
different
like-
kinds of salt, how many containers of that kind of salt are on your bedside table?
On my
Waiting
bedside
for
table.
the bugs.
Oh, that's all his morning salt. Coffee salts, tea salts.
Yeah.
Bath salts.
Before you go to bed, sprinkle a little bit on the sheet so that as they're crawling into your mouth, they'll just track some of that in there.
Exactly. I use the vanilla bean salt that I have for
Smoked
that.
paprika.
Cover my face in lavender salts before I go to bed.
It's disturbing.
All right, Corey, let's get into a gentleman's agreement.
Oh, it's the MF and Gentleman's Agreement. Oh, done.
All right, Greg Gumtow.
Yes.
You had to watch White Boy.
That I did. So, I mean, everybody in Michigan knows who White Boy Rick is, I would think, and most people, around.
Let's assume that we have. Let's assume that we have a global audience.
Okay, global audience. All right. White Boy Rick, 17-year-old white kid, grew up in the projects, sort of. Of Detroit. Got involved in some gang stuff with the drugs and whatnot. So that's pretty much White Boy Rick got set up. That's White Boy Rick got set up and then sent to basically Michigan's drug law. Got sent to life in prison.
Okay.
So I had the documentary version of the story. There is a movie out as well.
So what you were supposed to watch was the documentary.
I had the documentary, yes. Okay. So I did watch it. It's pretty good. I did know the story, but from what I got out of it was the amount of corruption that goes on. I mean, we all kind of know the Detroit Police Department's pretty corrupt, and it kind of goes up through the ranks. Did not realize it went up that high and maybe that deep, if it's all true. But overall, it's a really good flick. I don't want to spoil too much about it, just because there's some real interesting stuff there. I wish that kind of save the guy's name here. One of their quote-unquote hitmen for the one gang who got let out of prison after 18 years, who spent less time than Mr. Rick in prison.
Mr. Rick.
I can't think of his name now. But anyways, I wish he would come out with a book or a movie or something and just tell all about the entire Detroit Police Department and what they had him used to do, I think that'd be pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because I knew the story, but I didn't know it was that. Like, I haven't watched the movie yet.
Right.
It's just one of those things I know the story, so it's like, am I going to watch it? And, maybe one day.
But it's a spoiler-free
review was basically how he got involved with the FBI and the Detroit Police Department, but the FBI and the Detroit Police Department did not know about it.
Okay.
They didn't know about each other.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy. His dad was a gun dealer, arms dealer, who apparently was kind of given to both sides. He's supposed to be an informant for the FBI as well as selling guns to the drug dealers. So that is quite interesting.
Okay. All right. So if your last name was Dylan, what would you give this a rating as?
You don't have to do that.
I like it though. It's good. I was going to give it a grade of a B-.
All right. That's fair. And speaking of Todd Dillon, Todd, you had to watch
Yes, sir.
Joe Montana, Cool Under Pressure.
Yes. Greg assigned that to me, and he knocked it out of the park. I have a newfound respect for Joe Montana. The 30-second synopsis, it's basically kind of the story of how Joe Montana came up through high school. It's kind of his own autobiography done in a documentary format. I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes of 1 hour. I actually watched it front to back, watched it beginning to end.
Nice.
Have newfound respect. I still think TB is the GOAT because of his accomplishments and because New England, I swear, worked as hard as they could to surround him with less talent each year, except for the Randy Moss years. I think they actively worked against him. So I think Joe Montana is a much better athlete than anyone ever gave him credit for. That was a great insights. The guy, I think his both high school and college coaches look like total idiots. But yeah, great flick. Would highly recommend it. And the Joe Montana story. Have newfound respect for him, and now I remember why I hated the Niners when I was a kid, because they were always winning. Yet they came from a lineage of never winning anything.
I thought it was pretty funny. Like him and Tom Brady's careers are so similar.
Except for Tom never ever totally got screwed.
Not totally screwed, but just the way it kind of the way.
Yeah,
they're
both third round picks, not expected to do much of anything. I think, and they both got their shot when something bad happened. But the fact, like, seeing all the behind the scenes, I remember the tension about Steve Young and when they brought him in. But knowing that Bill Walsh was trying to outsmart himself and just a genius who had lost his mind and creating controversy out of none in a team sport, horrible. Great flick. Solid A.
Solid A. Let's go.
All right. I had to watch 42 by, I think, Todd, you assigned that to me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this has been on my watch list for quite a while, and I was happy to finally get to it. So thanks for the push. 42 is the story of Jackie Robinson and his it's not a drafting, but it's literally a call up to the major leagues as the first black professional baseball player in the MLB. And so Chadwick Boseman plays Jackie Robinson, and he's a live wire, man. I mean, I'm a big Marvel guy, so I was a huge Chadwick Boseman Black Panther aficionado. But I'd been trying to watch his movies, pre-Marvel, because I'd heard of what a good actor he was, and this did not disappoint. He just literally lights up the screen every time he's on it, and really kind of embodies what I thought that Jackie Robinson was. Harrison Ford is the co-star. He plays Branch Rickey, who brings Jackie Robinson up from the minors to against all odds, to embrace the future. And Harrison Ford is, I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler because this is all a historical account. Harrison Ford is really just kind of chasing the dollars. He understands that baseball is baseball, and he wants the best players. And if Jackie Robinson's the best player to draft or to pull up from the minors, then so be it. And he's not going to be stopped just because he's not white. And I thought the movie was great. I thought it was fantastic. I thought that I'd read a bunch of stuff about Jackie Robinson in the past, and I thought that this movie was really true to the facts of Jackie's past and his career. So thank you, sir, for assigning this to me.
Awesome.
I loved it. I'd give it a solid A for anybody who's interested.
Awesome. Loved it.
And with that, Cory, you had The Last Resort.
Yes, I did.
From Nick, right?
Yeah, so I was a little confused at first because there's a couple movies listed on Just Watch.
We went through that.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
I apparently forgot about that. I bobbed
You
it.
actually looked it up. It was 2 weeks ago. During the podcast, you looked it up and specifically pulled up the actress's name who's in it, and you're like, I got it.
Oh. I must have been pretty far
Forgot
gone.
all about that? Okay.
Yeah, well, because what I found was there was a kind of like a sci-fi about this U.S. naval ship that basically gets framed for launching a nuclear attack on the U.S. and they go rogue.
Is that the one that you watched?
No. So
okay,
I
because there's also like a fun softcore pornography ski movie based on called The Last Resort. So we could continue to talk about all the Last Resort movies there are.
Well, so
did you find the correct one?
That's what I'm getting to, buddy.
Okay.
So I happened to let me just double check to make sure this is the one I'm supposed to watch because I'm really kind of hoping it's not because the
Did that
sci-fi
double checking
thing
involve any text to Nick Bader?
Again, if you'd let me finish my story. So I sent a text to Nick saying, "Hey, can you send me the title screen of the movie that you wanted me to watch, The Last Resort?" He said, "Yeah." He sent it to me. I said, "Oh, thank God." I said, because the one I was looking at was this sci-fi crazy fucking submarine movie that kind of I don't know if I'm really going to be into it.
We all know how you feel about sci-fi.
Yeah. So then I started the actual Last Resort that he wanted me to watch, and I immediately regretted my decision to not just watch the first one. This was the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Wow.
Oh, holy shit. Absolutely fucking terrible. There was nothing about it that was good. The only thing I can tell you from the movie, because I tried to pay attention, zoned out so many times.
Give us the third. Yeah, what's it about? 30 seconds. Less, even 10 seconds.
Mother and son from Russia.
Bob, this is what you gave like an A to.
No, that's why I want. I'm like, at least tell me that you watched it.
Mother and son in Russia, from Russia, get caught in Britain somewhere. She ends up having to go into the sex trade because she has to make money for her family. She cries during it. It's fucking terrible.
Oldest business in time.
I paused the movie at it was like an hour 35 to go do something. Completely forgot I was watching it and never finished it. That's how little I cared about this movie.
There you go.
Nick, your thoughts?
I didn't know we were allowed to do that. So it's great to know that now because there are a lot of movies that I would have loved to pause and never finish that Cory's given me. So that's amazing to know that now.
Right? You should hold
That's true. He watched all of Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, I'm going to hold it true to my heart.
Yeah.
Dude, and it wasn't, it was literally out of the fact that I did not care. There was nothing about the movie that was good.
Isn't it weird that he gave it such high accolades and you gave it such low?
It is. That is weird.
It's very strange. I just find that very strange. Very strange.
Terrible movie. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send you $3, even though I streamed it for free. I'm gonna send you $3 just to never assign it to anyone else ever again.
I would love that.
I don't know that that's.
It's a rule now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
New rule today.
We'll see when that $3 hits. It's actually most movies are $3.99. Just so you know.
Fuck, I'll send you $5. It was
Nick Bader. You had to watch National Lampoon's Animal House.
I did.
From me.
I did.
I'm honestly expecting a very similar review to the one we just heard.
No, not at all.
Given your love for Caddyshack.
Nope. I'm not a person that is vindictive or, that I'm stuck in my ways. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to watch something new. And I put any kind of predispositions aside, and I try and go in fresh. I'll say it's dated, but I know it's dated. There are many movies that I've watched that are dated. I had a really hard time getting into it, and it had nothing to do with the movie. It had everything to do with my week, and so I was trying to put that aside while I was watching it, and then I finally got into it, and I realized why it was such a popular movie at the time. I think it was... I've very mixed feelings about it. To try and kind of suspend disbelief and set the sign of the times aside and really get involved as if I was watching it fresh for the first time in the 80s when it came out. And I feel like at that time I would have been really, really excited to see the movie. That aside, that it was the hokey 80s kind of movie, I was able to place myself in that time, and I feel like that I really enjoyed it. There are many reasons why you should enjoy it, of course. The pillow fighting scenes and all the topless scenes. I mean, that's fantastic. Of course. But I was trying to go beyond that, and I was trying to see the movie for what it was at the time. And I knew nothing of John Belushi. Nothing. Zero.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like he had a lot of similarities in delivery with Bill Murray.
They did both come from that Saturday Night Live background, and you'd never seen...
Nothing.
Okay.
Just, we can end it there. Nothing.
Okay.
And I feel like he was a happy mix between Bill Murray and Chris Farley. He was kind of a healthy hybrid of the two. And I could see where he was probably hysterical. And I did find a lot of funny moments in the movie, and the movie took a turn that I was not expecting towards the end. And it was definitely entertaining. Like, I don't know, because of the dated aspect of it, if it's something I would go back to. It made me upset that I was not alive during its release. Like, alive in the sense that I was not of an age that I could appreciate it, right, where I could go out and watch it when it first came out. And I feel like if I was, that I'd be like, this movie is fucking amazing. This is a fantastic fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it was still very well done, and I still enjoyed the movie a lot. I did. I really did. And it was funny. There were funny moments. Caddyshack, I didn't find funny moments, but this was, It was great. It was a college movie. And aside from the eye candy, you could appreciate it, so I would definitely say, B- if we're rating it.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. I did not see that coming.
I didn't either. I'm super excited. I figured this was going to get a D.
I
D plus at best.
I don't want to encourage
hold on.
hokey 80s movies. But I really had to dive deep.
He likes stripes too. So we're onto something.
Yeah, I had to dive deep to appreciate it. But it's something that it was a rite of passage that I wanted to see. And it was, like I said, a very rough start. It was a very rough start. I'm like, I can't pay attention to this whatsoever. And
we thought for sure you were not going to like it.
I
would
agree.
Bet money.
Yeah.
But then again, Todd made a good point. Like, okay, so Stripes got a thumbs up. Caddyshack got a thumbs down. Mm-hmm. Animal House got a thumbs
sports.
up. I don't know that that's why it was.
Yeah. No, it didn't. It was a fucking... I was so distracted by the fucking Chuck E. Cheese gopher going around the fucking whole movie that it was like, I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense.
So I'm curious. Hopefully I won't be the only one to draw Nick's name and maybe take some inspiration as to where else. Well, let's more fully explore this
Absolutely
80s comedy.
But I can't. I want to completely dismiss things like that by saying it was completely dated, but then I can watch a 1955 Western and want to watch it again and again and again, so that goes out the window.
Yeah.
So I can't say things like that, but Caddyshack was too hokey for me.
I appreciate the fact that you can suspend disbelief far enough to put yourself in what would this, let's look at this movie in the context of when it was released.
And I loved American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, there's that too.
So, yeah. But yeah,
Awesome.
it was good. I enjoyed it once I got into it.
I'm super excited. All right, so new assignments.
Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
John Belushi's delivery in that movie, with everything and his lines and his deadpan face all the time, I enjoyed that. I liked that a lot. And
Okay.
It upset me because I'm like, this is a gem. This is that we no longer have.
It is. Yeah.
And that's my only tie to John Belushi is this movie now.
Has Nick Nick hasn't seen the Blues Brothers?
No, he hasn't. He has not.
I've seen bits and pieces which I've enjoyed, but I've not seen it.
I started I picked this one because I'm like, this is kind of where you need to
Opening a door.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, so new assignments. I have drawn Cory. Todd has drawn Greg. Cory has me. Greg has Nick, and Nick has Todd. So, anybody want to jump in?
Bob, you have Hell or High Water.
Seen it.
Bob, you do not have Hell or High Water.
I can go for Nick.
Fuck.
Go ahead.
So you like the UFO stuff a little bit?
Yes, of course.
Project Blue Book. It's on the History Channel.
Haven't seen it, but the documentary I gave Cory was heavily into.
This is like a TV series. I think it's 2 seasons long.
Okay.
Of the actual projects in Project Blue Book.
Yeah, it sounds like I would love it.
All right, Todd, you got something for Greg?
I do. I'm trying to think the exact name of it. I'm reassigning to me. What was the band? The Michael Jordan Air Jordans.
Unbanned.
Unbanned. That's it.
It's called.
Have you seen
Unbanned?
that, Greg? Unbanned.
Unbanned.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Is it,
Yep.
It's a Michael Jordan documentary?
No.
No, it's the Legend of Air Jordans.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
It's Unbanned, the Legend of AJ1.
J1.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
Gotcha. Nick, I'm going to save you for the end because I feel like we need some time.
Gee, thanks.
Cory, you got me.
Yeah, I thought I had a solid one there, but
All right, so I have you. So let's.
I'll go. Todd.
wow.
Jesus Christ.
Todd, have you seen Tinder Swindler?
Jeez.
Have you
That's
seen
a new thing.
Yeah.
When did you have time to watch
Yeah.
this?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cory. I'm going to save that for after the wedding.
Wait, so have Cory and Greg seen this? Because you both laughed.
I've seen it.
I have it. It's on my watch list.
yeah.
I'm going to be watching it here soon.
Cory, have you seen About Last Night?
What about last night?
Sounds familiar, but I can't say I recall it.
All right.
Boop, boopity boop.
That's what you got.
And you, sir.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
there may
Hold
have,
on.
There may have been a remake of this movie, like a modern day remake. So this is the version
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
from the 80s with Rob Lowe and Jim Belushi and Demi Moore.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right. You, sir, have Dead Man Switch
Where can I find that?
on Hulu.
Dead Man Switch.
Dead Man's Switch.
Dead Man's Switch.
Yep.
Dead Man Switch.
Dead Sandwich.
Dead Sandwich.
Dead Manwich. All right, got it.
Rudy Bogdanovich.
Nick, Cory, Bob, Todd, Greg. We're all good. All right. Again, I complain. I raise my fist to the heavens and I say, why don't I have a fucking theme song for Pick of the Week?
Because nobody's done it.
I know we got graphics, but my lazy fucking co-host hasn't come up with a theme song, and you know who you are. Corey,
you out there know who you are.
Corey's got graphics for this, so let's move into the Pick of the Week. So let's see if we can get through this in 7 minutes or less. All right. Does anybody want to go first? Todd, you got a pick?
I do not this week.
No pick for you this week. All right, moving on.
No,
I got
no
you,
pick
buddy.
for me this week.
My pick of the week is going to be the Raptic Titan Air that I have sitting right down there on the table.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a great pick.
The new battery bank I purchased for all my GoPro needs and also for the podcast.
Or to power
Look
Jerusalem.
at you, double dip it in your credit.
Yeah, So Bob has something called the Jackery. That's an awesome portable power bank. That
But Corey's like, fuck you. I can find something equally good that weighs 40 pounds less.
Well, yeah. So Bob's is like a little mini generator that you have to carry by a handle.
Yeah.
This I found on Amazon, the Raptic Titan Air. That's very portable, very lightweight. Will still accept a regular wall plug. Has 2 USB outputs and a USB-C input and output. It has already, by far, from seeing the indicators on it, outlasted the other battery I was using to power the cameras and the iPad during the podcast. At this point, it already would have been dead.
Yeah.
Completely gone. Okay. And we would have been working the last, maybe 30 minutes of the show on just the batteries from the phones and from the iPad. Now, on the indicator on this, I'm still at, looks like 3 lights. And everything's still charging very nice and well.
Very nice and good.
Yep.
Very good and nice and good.
And believe it or not, only $100 on Amazon. So if you're a camper, survivalist, podcaster, whatever you want to do, and you need a mobile power solution.
Deranged billionaire with tons of money to blow.
That too.
Send me the link for that.
I can kill so many zombies with that.
Dude, it's solid. So that's my pick.
Okay. Greg, you got a pick?
I do. I have actually a pick and a gift for the cast.
Holy shnikes.
Have some
It's
Punchy
not
Day
fair because I
vodka.
tried to order some.
Did you?
So who's the distillery?
It's sold out.
Well, let's pretend like there are people in Singapore who are listening to us who don't understand.
The Detroit City Distillery. I don't know the exact story about this.
I do.
But
But
what's
Nick does.
the flavor
I
of
knew
the
he did.
vodka that you bought?
Punchki Day.
Okay.
So Detroit City Distillery, very local in Michigan here. They normally just make vodka and other spirits. So the backstory to this is that if you don't know, excuse you, if you don't know, he'll have to figure out where his mute button is. If you don't know what a punchki is, Cory.
It's a jelly donut.
Are you inferring that I don't know what a punchki is?
I'm saying that
the story, sir. On with the story.
you being the Polish member of the podcast, that you should let us know.
We're about to get invaded. I got a lot of things going on.
We got 3 minutes to finish this show. So
Okay, so a punchki is an overfilled donut that is Polish in heritage, and so it's a big thing on Fat Tuesday around these parts that punchkis are sold everywhere.
And Hamtramck, baby.
Yeah, and Hamtramck is a very very Polish.
Was very Polish. Not
Okay.
anymore.
Used to be apparently Polish influenced demographic area around Detroit. So regardless, so Detroit City Distillery, they had their master distiller apparently go on vacation, or their owner or their president or whoever the hell was in charge. And some of the guys were like, hey, you know what I've always wanted to do is take these giant donuts and infuse some vodka with these donuts, these raspberry giant punchki donuts. So they went ahead and did it, and they tasted it, and they thought it was pretty fantastic. And the master distiller, or the president of the company, or whoever, came back, and he was like, "Yeah, let's go ahead with this. Let's try this." And within the first year, it was immediately sold out. And they've been doing it for about 4, I think, years now. Each year increasing the amount that they're shipping out. This is the first year that it literally did not sell out within minutes. Last year it was sold out within like 25 minutes, but it's raspberry, basically donut flavored vodka. Shut up, Bob.
All right. Last shot of the night. Here we go. Nick, do you have a pick? Because we have
Yes.
90 seconds.
We have as many seconds as I need.
No, we don't.
So, yeah, my pick of the week this week is JB Weld's Steel Stick. It's absolutely amazing. JB Weld, if you don't know, makes a lot of different 2 compounds that you can buy. I think I gave it as a pick to repair my kayak. They had a JB Weld for plastics. This is a JB Weld. It's called Steel Stick. Any kind of steel, stainless steel, anything that you need to adhere something to without nails or anything like that, you mix the 2 compounds together, creates a putty, stick them together, and it's actually stronger than steel.
That's what we used for the spittoon.
Yes.
Did we?
That is,
Yeah,
that
I
is
forgot.
true.
Yeah,
that
we
is
did.
true.
So we've used this on some of our food steel that we use. So
Food steel.
Yep.
Steel science. All right, I'm going to save mine for next week. We got to end this bitch. All right. On behalf of Nick and Cory and Todd and special guest Greg Gumtow, this is Bob saying goodbye. We'll see you next weekend. Stay safe.